Testing 1 2 1 2. Okay, I got a couple of things to get off my chest. I know I don't upload as frequently, or I haven't done a video in a while, but this is just bothering me to the point of no return. And I just want to quickly, review UFC 205, if I will. Listen, look, you know, that main event was just, I don't even know what to make of that. But before I get to that, I'm gonna leave that last. I'm just gonna get into the few fights that that have my interest. And the first one being, of course, Yoel Romero versus Chris Weidman. Everybody going into this was saying Chris Weidman, Chris Weidman. Even Chris himself was saying, oh, I'm gonna go in there, get the W, and I'm gonna put my sights on Michael Bisping. And I was one of the only few people, and I'm not saying I'm one of the few. There's probably thousands of people that thought the same. Excuse me. That Yoel Romero, I personally think, and a lot of people thought that Yoel Romero has the tools to beat anybody in that division. I mean, you got to remember, this man was on a 4-fight winning streak, or 5 fights, or wherever it was. I mean, he just came off the heels of beating guys like Tim Kennedy, Jacare, and these are all top-notch competitors, like especially Jacare. And I was just sitting there and I was thinking to myself, like, why is Chris Weidman looking past this guy? Now, people will say what they want about, performance enhancing drugs and how, it has a factor in fights. Yes and no. But what I can tell you is that PEDs, aka performance enhancing drugs, do not teach you timing, right? They don't teach you footwork, and they don't teach you technique. So what you saw in that fight, which I predicted, now I didn't say it would be in round 3. I said round 2, so I got the round wrong, but I knew that Romero would knock him out. And that's exactly what happened. And, he hit him with a flying knee, caught him straight, I believe, on his eye, and then he went down. He also hit his head off of his own knee. This is Chris Weidman I'm talking about. And then, Romero just unloaded on him with punches, and it was a bloody mess, literally. Like, I mean, if you go on YouTube and you see that knockout and you see the blood pissing out of his head, I mean, I felt really bad for the guy. And I was just sitting there saying to myself, I'm not surprised, because Yoel Romero is somebody that could be champion. Same with Jacare, same with a lot of guys. And I feel like there's a stereotype going on where all the non-English speaking fighters are getting looked past and underestimated. So whether that be Gegard Mousasi, whether that be, well, even though he can talk English, but you know what I mean, like someone that's not the typical American, basically. So we've got guys like Gegard, we've got guys like Jacare, we've got guys like Yoel Romero, you know what I mean? So I mean, that's just free to name a few, and all those guys are capable of being champion. You've seen what they've done. Gegard beat Vitor, like made him look terrible. He's gonna be facing Uriah Hall. I guarantee you he'll win that too. Despite what people say, I believe that was a fluke. Romero, you saw what he's just done, what I just spoke about. And then, of course, Jacare. I mean, Jacare on a good day can beat anybody. Because Jacare has once or twice beat all of these guys near enough. And, what's to say he can't do it again? He has the best jiu-jitsu in the whole of UFC. So, this guy, and he's got great stand-up. So, I mean, yeah. So, to summarize things, I'm glad Romero won. And as much as I'm English and I support my countrymen, and I'm happy Bisping's champion, I don't see Bisping beating Romero. So that's all I can say on that. Misha Tate and I believe it was Pennington. I actually told a buddy of mine. I said that Misha Tate at the weigh-ins didn't look as focused as Pennington, and I just know off of someone's body language or their emotion, you kind of get like a gist in the wind of, maybe they don't have it anymore. And then ironically, she then retired. So, that being Misha Tate. So, I mean, I predicted that too. So that was 2 fights that I got right. And then, what other fight can we get into? I was wrong about the Frankie Edgar fight. I thought the other guy was going to win. Who the fuck is that guy? I believe his name is it Jeremy Thompson? I don't know what the guy's name is. Please remind me in the comments section. I completely didn't think Frankie was going to win, but he did, by unanimous decision, and good for him. What other fights? Yep, Tyrone Woodley, Wonderboy Thompson, them two. That was a very controversial, fight, but I really felt like it was a draw, but it could have swayed either way. So I've never seen anything like that before, but I guess it's happened now. So that's what I can say on that. If I wanted to pick someone to win, I would have picked Tyron Woodley. That was my original bet, you know, because you're not going to think they're going to draw. But, you know, Tyron Woodley remains champion, so that's good. Okay, so now on to the main news. Conor McGregor versus Eddie Alvarez. Now, every single fighter in that division said that Eddie Alvarez was going to stump Conor McGregor. I said it. Any intelligent, you know, MMA fan knows just how good Eddie Alvarez is, how decorated he is, you know, former champion in different weight classes, you know, from I believe it was Bellator and you know, obviously now UFC. He's beat the likes of Anthony Pettis and RDA, which is Rafael dos Anjos, and that's the thing, like, and you're thinking to yourself, there's no way Conor McGregor can win. And this is where I'm starting to believe that certain fights are scripted. Now, before everybody goes off the handle and shits on me or says any nasty comments in the comment section, you're welcome to do so, but I will just say this. Give me the benefit of the doubt. Listen, if you had a business and you wanted to build this business from the ground up, and you had something like mixed martial arts, if every single fighter got defeated or had as many losses as they did wins, would it even be worth watching? And to answer your question, that is absolutely not, because there is no competition and there's no one that stands out. So let's just say all these fighters are the brass key holders, right? You got Conor McGregor, you got Ronda Rousey, ironically, on the screen. You got Chris Weidman, you got Anderson Silva at the time. You got all these different people that are decorated, and these are your brass key holders, and these are the people that are gonna bring the money in, draw the fans, and you know, make television great. And one thing about Conor McGregor that is 100% real is confidence. You know, his confidence is like no other, and it's something that you can't teach. I believe you have to be born with that confidence, and I believe, honest to God, if you're talking pound for pound, and you see, you know, the way Eddie Alvarez fought, and you go back to Eddie Alvarez's fights with, you know, Showtime Pettis and RDA, you will see just exactly, you know, how different the performances were. I mean, the Eddie Alvarez that showed up against Conor McGregor was not the same Eddie Alvarez that went and beat RDA. Because the guy that beat RDA was one bad motherfucker. I mean, this guy was explosive. He pushed the pace. He had good wrestling. He was quick. You know, I mean, he was just there. You know, timing was there, footwork was there, head movement. The lot. I mean, where do I begin? The guy is so well rounded that when he went out there with Conor McGregor, the fact that he lost and the way he lost and the way he got dominated both rounds, I'm not buying it. I strongly believe, and everyone can shoot me down, but I will never change my mind, that Eddie Alvarez got paid either by the UFC or Conor McGregor himself to take the dive. Now, for all them people that are going to say I'm full of shit and I'm an idiot and I'm a pussy and I'm a this and I'm a that, go back to Eddie Alvarez's fights, right? Conor McGregor struggled against Nate Diaz on 2 occasions. So even though he won the second time, there was even in the second match, you know, he could have lost when, you know, Nate had him up against the cage, round 3, dirty boxing, you know, he was saved by the bell. So he could have lost in that fight too, and obviously the first fight he got choked out. So I mean, if McGregor struggled against the likes of, you know, a Nate Diaz, that's a guy that's not even a top 5 competitor or contender, I should say, in the lightweight division. And guys like Showtime Pettis, guys like Tony Ferguson, guys like Khabib, guys like Eddie Alvarez, Dos Anjos, all these fucking people are better than Nate Diaz. Okay? And this is what I don't understand, is that how The number one guy, Eddie Alvarez, the champion, loses to Conor McGregor. Now, I'm not saying it can never happen. I mean, let's be honest, a punch could land and change the whole momentum of the fight. But this guy went out there and did nothing to Conor McGregor. And this is where I'm just baffled. I'm confused. I've been a fan of mixed martial arts for years. I've done my research. I mean, I'm 24. I mean, I've did all my Pride research. You know, I know about my Bus Rutens, my Mirko Crow Cops. I mean, you can test me on my knowledge if you ever talk to me on a personal level. I know my shit. And I've been watching it for years. And I watch all different promotions. I watch, you know, like Bellator. I watch Cage Rage over here, which is kind of shit. I watch UFC. I watch all different. I love MMA. And I know just about everything there is to know near enough about Eddie Alvarez as far as him being a fighter. And I just don't, because I mean, I followed his career and I've seen him dethrone RDA, and there's no way I'm buying this, him getting walked through easily, you know, by Conor McGregor. So you guys let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of my conspiracy of, you know, are these fights fixed? I mean, is it some WWE shit? Because if you want me to be more technical and go more in depth, I can make a follow-up video to this. I can talk about, you know, the politics and, you know, the entertainment side of things, because it just seems to me like a lot of this shit is becoming, I mean, I'm a WWE fan and I'll be watching the press conferences and Conor McGregor's picking up chairs and cutting promos, and I'm kind of like, hey, this is WWE standards, you know what I mean? So if you're a wrestling fan and you know where I'm coming from, you will know exactly what I'm saying. But to all those people out there, if you've watched the whole of this video, I want to say a big thank you. Hit the sub button. I don't know when I'll be back, but listen, look, all I'm saying is what I saw, I'm not buying it. So for all you real MMA fans out there that know your shit, that know Eddie Alvarez and is with me on this one, understand there's something going on. Something fishy going on out there, alright? I ain't talking about your girl's drawers, you know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm joking. But all jokes aside, yeah? Do video responses. I want to hear you people's opinions. Come on, man. Drop the comments. Let me know what's going on. Because I think it's fake. But that's what I got to say, alright? You guys take care and God bless.